We are here today to do two closely related things. We are here, first of all, to dedicate to the use of this university a beautiful four-sided street clock, which has been installed between this building, Brenner Library, and the HFC in one of the busiest portions of our campus, where for generations to come, we expect that students, faculty, staff, and visitors will have the chance to make sure they're not late to whatever they're going to, and that they are on time for, if nothing else, their classes, to the joys of future generations of QU faculty. We also suspect there'll be a few athletes making sure they're where their coaches want them to be, or there will be hell to pay. That beautiful four-sided clock, though, is not there by accident. It is placed there by design, first of all, to serve the maximum number of people of this community, and also importantly, to commemorate one of the distinguished members of our community, and I would dare say, one of the most beloved. 21 people before me served as presidents or rectors of this university. And while we remember and honor their service, there are many visible reminders of the work they did. For one of those people, however, there is going to be such a reminder, because today we are honoring not only the philanthropic decision to help fund that beautiful street clock and honoring the people who will be served by it as members of this community, we are also honoring one person in particular, the 23rd president of this university, also someone who also served as chief operating officer, as interim president, and as trustee, Dr. Phil Conover. Dr. Friends and members of this community, including members of our own board of trustees, some time ago concluded that gifts to support some significant installation or memorial to the wonderful work of Phil Conover was appropriate to this campus. And COVID be darned, this spring and summer we were able to make that happen with the installation, the ordering and the installation of this clock, and now today its commemoration. If we were outdoors on an unseasonably warm, sunny October day, and we aren't, we would have the chance to observe that clock firsthand, including seeing a beautiful marker noting that it was the Conover Clock. And for those of us who know Phil Conover, we know his penchant for keeping the trains running and running on time. And a street clock is a great example of what communities do to make sure that those schedules are maintained. And so I'm so pleased to announce that the Conover Clock will be, for many generations to come, a reminder of the service of a beloved and talented president who brought this community together and who has, in more ways than many others, made sure this community will exist for those future generations. Today I'd like to recognize a few people who are here. Of course, we have many trustees here today, including our board chair, Del Mitchell. We have some former trustees here today. We have members, we have Franciscan friars, including the Provincial of the Sacred Heart Province, Father Tom Nairn. We have, wherever you are, Father Tom. We have members of this campus community, including members of our academic administration and multiple deans. We have with us faculty colleagues. We have vice presidents. We have other members of our staff. We have a few students who join us as well, and other members of the community, all united in their common love and affection for Phil Conover, and deservedly so. I promise you the main event is coming soon, but there are a few people who need to see words about the amazing service rendered to this university by Phil, and through Phil, and making Phil's good service possible, that of his beloved wife Bonnie and his son Eric, both of whom are here today. Can you give an applause? So without further ado, I'm proud to introduce the chair of the Board of Trustees of Quincy University, Delmer Mitchell.
I have 3 minutes. So, when you think of a clock, you think of time. Well, I can think of time in another relationship when it comes to Phil. Phil came to us in a moment of crisis. We had, for a lot of us here, particularly the trustees and those who know a lot about the university, in basically the summer of 2016, we had a huge financial crisis. We learned virtually overnight that we had a $6 million shortfall. We lost our CFO. The faculty voted no confidence in our president. We were strictly in a state of crisis and didn't know where to turn. Fortunately, when I called Phil and he got off his tractor, and I said, Phil, I need to talk to you. Would you come to my office? And he did. And I made the pitch. I told him how desperate we were. I told him that he was the right person to do it. And he reminded me that he had just retired for the second time. And the first thing he said to me when I said, Phil, you're the guy who can come and act as a COO and try to get us back on the straight and narrow here. First thing he said to me, he said, Del, Bonnie will kill me. So fortunately, Bonnie didn't kill him. So after several conversations, he came. I can tell you, he did a fantastic job. He came in, he basically... I hate to think what would have happened to this university, and in all seriousness, it would have been a touch and go if it hadn't been for Phil and his work. He gained the confidence of the faculty, the staff, the board, the students, as is shown by the fact that the students basically loved him, they trusted him, they raised the money for this clock that we're honoring him with today, and just did a fantastic job. Phil went on from being the COO to being the interim president, and then the president for 2 years. And he basically put us in a strong position so that we could have somebody like Dr. McGee to come in and to run this university. And I can tell you here today that at least in the 10 or 12 years I've been associated on the board, Quincy University's future has never been brighter. We've never been better and stronger, and our best days are ahead of us. And that's thanks to people like Phil Conover, who basically came, and just as an aside, when he agreed that he would come, there was never any discussion about salary. He's the only guy ever hired that he didn't get a salary. So anyway, we finally decided to give him a little bit of money for his work. But Phil, you saved us. We'll always be grateful. This university, this community will be grateful. And I'm personally grateful for the work that you did. Thank you.
Thank you. That may be as close as Dell's ever come to 3 minutes. But I did just want to have the opportunity, Phil, to say thank you. As Dell shared, when he asked you to come to this university, you came because of your love for the university and because of your commitment to this community. And obviously Phil's a talented guy, but it came through real quick to everybody that was involved with Phil, that Phil was here just because of that. He wanted the university to be successful. He wanted it successful for the community that he lived in and loved, and everybody recognized it. Phil is able to bring people that were fighting yesterday to pull the same direction tomorrow. And that skill is something that is unbelievable, and it's a skill that served us so well and has served Phil so well for so many years. But we just, he did turn things for us. He brought everybody together. He allowed Dr. McGee to come on board and continue with that success. He did decide that he couldn't stay away that long and came back to be athletic director for just a little while. So he's got more titles, COO, CEO, athletic director. Brian's probably still thinking about what's next, though, so be careful. But Phil does a great job of staying calm I know from talking to him, there were times that he would go home and probably not sleep very well. But he'd come back to work the next day and nobody knew it. There was a smile on his face, a confidence in how he handled things, and a strong commitment that this thing's going to work. And he sold that every day. He believed in it. And I'm just happy that he's able to see that be the case even more so today. So, Bill, thank you for everything you've done. The university owes you a big debt of gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil and Bonnie, Eric, you want to come up here? I gotta pull you out of the corner, Bonnie. You know how much I love you. One thing that has not been said from a Franciscan point of view is Phil's also has been affiliated to the Franciscan Order, because he demonstrated the years that he took over as president of this university, the Franciscan values. And he built and brought the university around rooted in those values, because he believed in them and he was living them. He inspired people to get on board with that. I've told him that when he was here, he's the best, no offense, Father Tom, he is the best servant leader that I ever worked with. And because it was never about him, it was about everybody here, so that everything is going in the right direction, because it's our institution. And if it's going to survive, it's because we make it survive and get on board what the direction needs to go into. I wish we were outside to do this. It's already been mentioned that the real seeds for this is because the students wanted to do something to give a legacy to Phil Conover, for what Phil, what you have meant for this institution and what you meant to those students back then. Plus, many other donors came on board also in relationship to that. I think one of the things we found out, it takes a long time to construct a clock. And not only a long time to construct it, it took a long time for it to get here in regards to that. And so one of the things that I think that you would say, well, all good things happen in due time, and it may not be on your own time. That's correct. All right? So let us pray for God's blessing on the memorial clock that we dedicate here today to Phil Conover. Loving God, source of all time, past, present, and future, we come together today to dedicate the Conover Memorial Clock. Phil guided this university down the road of financial recovery and revitalization of hope in the future of this Catholic Franciscan institution of higher learning. So gracious God, source of all blessings, we thank you for the blessing and the gift of Phil Conover and his servant leadership. Bless him for his undying dedication to the mission of this university. Bless also his wife, Bonnie, who remained behind the scenes but supported Phil the whole time. So, loving God, fount of all time, we likewise pray for your blessing on the clock that we have erected outside. May it waken within us the passing of minutes and hours. May it deepen our awareness of the miracle of each second of our life. And may the ticking of this clock help us not to miss what is truly important in life. So shower down your blessings upon Phil and Bonnie, upon the Conover Memorial Clock, on this whole university community. And we make this prayer in your most holy name, now and forever. Amen. I now invite Phil. And I know he won't go as long as Del.
I could. Well, I don't really have the words right now to express my gratitude, and what an honor it is to be standing here and being a part of the history of Quincy University. The 23rd presidency here was an interesting time, and when I think back and I look over a lot of the staff that are here, and we all work together, and faculty, and then our board members, and then I practically lived in Dell's office, either on the phone or going downtown. It's a thrill for me to be a part of it. This is the highest honor for me that could possibly be done. I really don't have the words to tell you how grateful I am to have had the chance to serve this university. This university is a great place. It's a unique place, and it's a shining star in the Midwest for Division II universities and all of them. So I thank you all very much. I'm having a little trouble with words right now, but I'll get them. But I appreciate you being here today. I appreciate the honor, Father John. I think that one of the things that made it possible for me was to have the Franciscans at my side. And believe me, they were. And they taught me so much. Are you okay, Wizard? But I learned a great deal from the Franciscans, and I love them dearly, and as does Bonnie. And I want to thank my son Eric for being here, and Bonnie is always along with me. And we appreciate your thinking of us this way. We hope that I am so excited about the future of this university. And one of the goals we had was to get the university positioned so that we could welcome a president like Dr. Brian McGee, who could take us on further down the road. We're very blessed, and I feel very blessed, and so I promise to keep this shorter than Dell. Which, by the way, would be the first time I've ever done that. But thank you all so much for being here, and I look forward to hearing from the students being guided by the clock in order to make their 8 o'clock class. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it.